Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Yo! Oh my God! Yo!
It's YoMMA Rap with Louis J. Gomez and Dave Smith.
Hello. Hello, young men and girls in the YoMMA Rap.
This just sounds like your normal voice.
Hello. Welcome to the #1 comedic-based MMA podcast in the world.
Number 4, if you want to get technical about it.
It's pretty good. We're doing all right, all things considered. Happy Halloween from YoMMA Rap.
Are you going to keep that on the whole show?
The whole show.
Are you going to keep this voice the whole show?
Yes. What voice? I am Sparkles the Crowd, and I've taken over for Louis J. Gomez. That hack.
You do seem more talented.
I know more about MMA.
Yeah, more handsome for sure.
Better looking.
Yeah.
Less rapey. And overall, a better person.
Better father.
You know, dude, it's been me the whole time, dude.
Wow,
you know, how dare you, dude?
Nah, dude, I was just saying that.
Really? Tell me how you really feel, Dave Smith.
I just, man, this is awkward. But
Happy Halloween.
Did you have a good Halloween with your boy?
Shout out to YoKratom.com. We've been giving out YoKratom at my house this Halloween. Little pills to the children in the neighborhood.
Absolutely,
Dude,
it's the nicest thing
all
to
zonked
do.
out, dude. By the time they get to the third house, they're just dragging like zombies, dude. They're just dragging their bodies down the street. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Home at $60 kilo.
Hell yeah. Now, you can just take it and keep it. You don't have to give it out to neighborhood children. You can do whatever you want with that kratom.
I'm giving, dude. That's the spirit of YoKratom.com is the spirit of giving to everybody, dude, especially children. So,
aw, it's sweet when you say it like that.
Happy Halloween, Dave.
Happy Halloween.
What were your children for Halloween?
My daughter was a witch, and my son was a pumpkin. I was a ghost.
There's nothing cuter than a 1-year-old pumpkin. It's the cutest thing it could be.
It was all, by the way.
Did he have a little, like the top of his hat?
He wouldn't
just like
keep it on,
the green stem. And then he was
there's like there was like an orange thing on the body, and then like an orange with a green on top of the thing. But he wasn't putting it with the hat.
Come on.
You know, you got it on for a second, get a picture. He's hysterically crying, and it's on, and then you're like, why are we doing this to him? Yeah. But my daughter, the 4-year-old, she just determined what everyone was going to be.
She decided.
Well, she just like announced it like as if it was a fact. We never told her she could, but like a couple
you're
months
a Democrat.
ago. What? I just love my daughter so much. All right, fine. No, she went, I'm a witch, and mommy's a witch too. She's like, you're going to be a ghost, and Victor's going to be a pumpkin.
Aw.
And so that's what we had to do.
You were a ghost?
I wore a ghost t-shirt.
No, Dave, come on. You don't even into the spirit, dude?
I would. There's been a lot going on over this week. But I'll get real decked out in the years to come.
I wore that mask with my son. James was the Joker. He killed it.
Yeah.
So what I did was I wore the mask, and that's a freaky ass mask.
Can you grab me my vape? It's on the charger.
So what I would do is I would, as other kids were passing, I just like stare at them, and I wouldn't break my stare. I was like,
well, that's what you normally do.
Yeah, I was freaking all these kids out, these teenagers, and except a couple teenagers, they weren't falling for my. Yeah, they were like,
an hour later, I got robbed. These teenagers are tough.
They're like, you're not so tough. It was good, though. Did we find whiskey for me, Coop? Also, Coop, never, ever wear short shorts like that in the studio again. We gonna find whiskey for me?
There's no whiskey in here. You want some coffee?
No, I want you to send.
You know where there's whiskey? At the store.
Go to the store, get me a little bit of bourbon. It's late, dude. It's 8 p.m.
What the
8:22.
fuck does this mean?
What is the problem, Dave? We have to do an MMA show. Stop.
Charging is not available.
You don't know what these words mean?
But I've never seen this before.
Dude, we're never gonna get to MMA on this show. If Vic was here right now, he'd be losing his mind. Where's Vic?
Is there another charger that I could use? This one's.
I think it's a problem with your phone.
Oh my god.
Coop has you. He's got you.
Are you getting me bourbon?
Mike's getting you bourbon.
Ice.
Coop.
I need ice too. Don't give my Mike, he needs ice as well.
Okay.
Hold on, it seems to be working now, but leave that in here. just
Give
in
my
case.
Mike ice
Thank
as well,
you.
please. Look, we have a great show planned today.
It's a big show.
It's a
Big
huge
show.
show, dude. First of all, a couple things. Full disclosure, did not watch the UFC Vegas card. I did not watch
Really?
it. Did not watch
Lewis, this is our job, man.
Come on, dude.
People pay us. We're the
No.
fourth biggest comedic MMA podcast in the
I need-
God damn it.
Coop, can you take my gum from me at this point? Is this disrespectful for me to make Coop take my gum?
Coop, can you not bring a napkin and just take
Coop,
it in your bare hand?
hand. Or at least bring me a napkin. Jesus Christ. No, I didn't, dude. You pick your poison, dude. And my poison was Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva that night. And I've been busy. I had a fucking Halloween party to run. I had a lot of shit going on. I'm stuffed with candy. I'm all fat right now. It's making me furious. So, we have to start with the Jake Paul Anderson thing.
All right.
Give me your Qatar versus fucking, or Cater
Well,
versus Allen review.
Did you see what happened in the fight?
Nope.
You don't even know.
know what happened.
It was a fucking disappointment.
Oh, see, I'm so happy I didn't watch it now.
Well, it was the fight was barely just getting started, and Qatar fucking blew his knee out. Cater, sorry, blew his knee out, and he fucking, it was a kind of weird thing. He went to throw some weird thing, landed weird on his knee, fucking blew it out, and then he kept fighting.
Ooh, you
And,
saw it pop. Oh my god, dude.
It was bad.
Oh,
It was one of those things where, like, you're a little, he's so goddamn fucking tough that he fucking goes back to the corner after that first one you saw, goes back to the corner, comes back out to fight, and he fucking starts the second round. And then he literally throws one leg kick to the opposite leg, forces him to put all his pressure on that. His knee blows out. He loses the fight. And you're like, right at that, you're like, yeah, probably the refs and the doctors shouldn't have let him keep fighting. And it's one of those things that's kind of tough in MMA. You're like, but that's, if it goes good, that's the greatest story ever, that he's the toughest guy and he fucking came back and fought on it. But then as soon as it goes bad, you're like, oh, yeah, that's just probably.
It never goes good.
Shouldn't have let him
It
do
very
that.
rarely goes good.
So rare.
I don't know anything about knees. My knee is fucked up right now, and I have no idea anything about what I'm trying to go to the doctor. I called my doctor today, and he fucking didn't answer it. I'm furious. I left a message, didn't hear anything back. That's all it takes for me. I was like, dude, what if I'm dying? What if I'm lying on the floor with a bullet hole in my fucking stomach, and I'm calling the doctor to try to fucking get him to save me? And here I am. Mm-hmm. You know? So my knee is kind of fucked. I have no idea. My knee, it like pops out in multiple places. The muscles around it are all fucked up and sore. I'm in trouble here.
You should probably schedule an appointment.
I
with the
tried
doctor.
to schedule an appointment, and he didn't fucking answer his phone.
Well, doesn't he have like people who work there?
Twice, dude. Called twice today. Left 2 messages.
Or do you just have the cell phone of someone who claimed to be a doctor?
Dude.
Are you calling an office?
I'm not positive I'm calling the right doctor. 50-50 shot. It's a different doctor.
I feel like I left him a message, like your doctor's voicemail is like, "What's up, bitches? Not around right now."
I was going to say his name, and then I decided not to let the people know my doctor. I don't know why.
Probably a good
What's
call.
What's the reason that I wouldn't let the people know my doctor, though? What could they do?
It gets them a little bit closer to where you live.
I'm not really worried about that. Come find me, you I'll fucking kill all of you. You want to fucking come, dude? I got a fucking gun. I have 20 guns.
Dox me. I'll dox myself.
Let's go.
Doxed.
Doggy, I have guns all up my ass, dude. Literally. Did you not watch the latest Legion of Skanks?
I mean, they're duck hunt guns. They're not going to do anything.
I have
But they're
guns
up
out
there.
the ass, guns up my ass, guns in my ass. So you don't want to come to my fucking house, dude, at 2525 West End Avenue, Paramus, New Jersey. Something. Yeah, no, dude.
It's a shame that the fight ended that way because it was going to be very interesting to see that matchup.
It was not for me. It wasn't going to be interesting for me.
Well, it was going to be.
I'm happy it ended that way, so now I don't have to feel guilty about not watching it.
There you go.
Did you watch the Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul fight? Did you watch it live? First of all, first question, did you watch it live?
No.
Second of all, did you pay to watch it?
No.
Third of all, did you watch it?
Yes.
Thank God. Whew. Imagine neither of us watched the other thing that the other one
No,
watched.
I did. I
That'd
did
be a
watch
whole
it. I
to-do.
feel a little guilty about that, and I tried not to do that in general. But I was sucked in by. I just didn't watch it. I actually thought it was happening Sunday night, not Saturday night. I had a very busy day Saturday, and I was just complete. Like fucking whatever. Just wasn't even paying
Are
attention.
you not saying what's going on in your life publicly anywhere?
Oh no, I'm not like again saying it. No, so I bought a house.
You're fucking. You're
So
like you're being very coy about it.
No, I just said I had
You're being very Joe Coy about it. You're like,
Oh,
I bought the house.
Don't you ever accuse me of being Joe Coy about that.
I bought the house. Stop being just so Joe
Man, for
Coy
people who
about
get
this.
that reference, it's a really good reference.
So-
So I bought a house. I closed on the house on Friday. Saturday, I went there for the first time since the walkthrough, since buying it, and spent the whole day.
Lit it on fire. That's how good Dave's doing.
That's it. Fuck you, motherfucker. I own this fire. Really, the bank owns the fire. But
the bank is
as long as I
owning that
continue to
fire.
make payments on it, I'm fine. So then Saturday I went there and was like setting shit up and measuring and stuff. So it was a busy day, the whole day. And I thought that the fucking Anderson Silva fight, I don't know why I thought this. I thought I had seen that it was on Sunday night. I didn't realize it was that Saturday night. So the next morning, I didn't watch anything Saturday. But on Sunday, I watched all the fucking
Nice little morning of being
UFC
a dad.
fights.
Crack open a beer.
Yeah.
Throw on some fucking UFC
Shut up,
fights.
kids.
Yeah. God, you know what?
Dad's on the can. You go, Dad, you've been pooping for 4 hours.
Yeah. I watch it live.
But I did not, because I was just so busy with other shit, I did not get any spoilers or anything like that. So I went in and was able to watch it fresh.
That's fun. That's great. So yeah, I watched it live. We had the Halloween party. Then Maximus Kelly slept over. I was like, all right, boys, we're watching a boxing match, right? And we ordered the card. And a lot of people
Maximus was like, fuck you, my dad's been on Joe Rogan this century.
So it's like Joe answers his calls. So no, but I tweeted out the night of the fight. I was like, because I couldn't find it. I tried to just search it on I have a Samsung like smart TV or a Sony smart TV, and I just searched Jake Paul fight, and it didn't come up. And I was like, what the is this? Do you have to order it like online? And I want to watch it on the big TV, and I guess I could cast to my TV. I've just never done that.
I think you lose quality with that too.
This is where I'm at though with like my technical ability. Like I opted out of doing shit for myself before that technology existed. You couldn't cast to a television. Now I have people, I would say, Coop, cast to my TV, and it would just get done, right? I don't know exactly what the process, I know it's a button or two. There's a few swipes and a couple clicks, and I'm there. I think I could probably figure it out. I think it's somewhat
don't you
intuitive.
lose quality if you do that?
Probably lose quality.
Yeah, see, that pisses me off at this point. I'm very, like, there's not, some things I just don't give a shit about or whatever, but the quality of like HD in a fucking thing really
Especially a
means lot to me.
fight,
A fight,
sports,
you want to see it.
big TV. We're
Yes.
very used to watching. Like sometimes I'll be just on, Amazon Prime or something. I watched a Halloween cooking show with James recently. It was just like Halloween cookie challenge, right? And I clicked on the cookie show, and it just wasn't HD. It was like standard definition, and it is distracting now.
It's all you can focus on.
It's really bad how shitty quality, and kids, they have a hard time sort of focusing on old movies and classic movies now because they're so used to it. It looks so retro at this point.
It's one of those things, dude. But I remember watching Knicks games on a 19-inch, 1995 TV, and just being fucking thrilled to watch this game. And I try to imagine what that picture would look like now. It's
crazy.
And you'd be like, how are you even seeing what's happening here?
Yeah.
Like, how are you
hockey
even enjoying
in
this?
82? Like, how'd you watch hockey? You couldn't see the puck. It was a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But I tweeted out like, oh, how do you get the Jake Paul fight on a Sony TV? And somebody was like, oh, you have to download the Showtime app. So, and then a lot of other people were like, dude, here's a crack stream and here's a, XYZ streams or whatever the fuck else it is. There's a bunch of different streaming sites, right? And number one, we just talked about it. I don't like watching low quality streams.
I don't like the low quality. I don't know about you, but I feel genuinely guilty about that. And I don't feel like this is how I've always said this. If you're broke, I don't judge anyone for going and like fucking watching a stream.
Of course.
It's just like, it's kind of too tempting and it's right there in front of you. I judge someone for creating the stream. I think that's kind of a fucked up thing to do. But I don't judge anyone for watching it. But if you're not broke, I almost feel like you're supposed to pay for, like, I'm now supposed to pay for younger me who would have just watched it for free when he had no fucking money.
That's the way it all balances out, right? Like I can go watch any. Yeah, I actually tweeted specifically that. I said, as someone who creates shit, I don't feel right watching pirated streams. I can afford to pay for it, so I should. But it's not even just being able to afford it. If I didn't give a fuck about it, like it was literally me being like, I kind of wanted to see what happens. I don't really give a fuck. I would also like, I wouldn't be so opposed to like just clicking on a free stream and checking in or whatever. But if I care, like I went home to watch that fight and I can afford it. So I just feel like, and I create shit.
No,
so
I get
I
your
don't
point.
like when we do the Skankfest streams. And by the way, I wasn't like, I don't like we had a company in Mint Comedy that was in charge of these streams,
Right.
and they were like battling piracy during this. Like, I don't really give a shit. You know,
I have no.
I just, you know what I don't like? It's when people like brag and they're like trying to like dunk on me with it. I'm like, all right, dude, cool. You're dunking on me. You stole a fucking stream. You're not paying comedians for fucking going and creating content. I guess pat yourself on the back for that. I don't really get like the braggadociousness of it. You should be like, you know what, dude, fuck it, I can't afford it. I'm gonna go watch it. Who gives a shit? Like, honestly,
I
really,
think,
who gives a shit?
okay, so if one of our fans who really wants to see the stream, but kind of like is tight on money and doesn't want to pay for it, and someone else is like, here, I got a free, stolen version of it, and they click on that. Not only do I not judge that fan at all, I love that fan, and I'm glad that they saw the fucking thing they couldn't fucking afford to pay for. If you're creating the stream and then posting, hey guys, don't buy this.
Yeah.
Go here and watch the stream.
Move.
Go, you're a piece of shit,
dude,
and I don't want you as a fan.
Go share it on a Discord or a Reddit.
Fine.
Like, obviously, who gives
but like,
a shit? It's
don't
gonna
like
happen.
fucking. Just don't be a dick about it. Where it's like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. We put out thousands of hours of free content. We're doing a special
We created a system,
thing.
by the way, we're not even doing what Patreon does, where, or a lot of guys that use Patreon, where they have one behind a paywall and one not.
All of our shows are free.
Shit goes out, everything goes out for free. Our system and our platform was designed so you guys get it all for free. If you can't pay for it, you don't want to pay for it, you listen to a fucking couple ads. That's the way we figured out how to do this. And we do it in a way where, like, I'm not somebody who takes advantage of fans. I'm not somebody who takes advantage of people that I work with. Like, I try to make everything very, very fucking fair. I'm also the first guy to say, dude, go subscribe to Gas Digital, use the free promo code, download all the episodes, and then cancel your membership. Dude, more power to you, dude. I want you to fall in love with the content. I think if you did that, if you downloaded 100 episodes of Legion of Skanks, you would come back and subscribe to Gas Digital.
And if you're
I think we create the content that makes people want to do that.
And also understand that me and Lewis have both been like dead broke in our lives. And for years, been like really broke. I completely get that. I completely get it.
Bought a house.
Like,
You're currently dead broke.
I'm back. I'm in the broke world again. I was rich for 2 years and I'm broke again.
It felt so good when you had no real fucking...
I'm one of you, okay? Oh, dude, to hand over this check, you have no idea the feeling. It's just fucking like, you just go like, all right, here you go. Here's a check for a bank check for $200,000. You know, and you're like, like you almost like don't let go for a little bit. And then anyway, everyone takes money from you. It's insane. It's like getting divorced. But I'm saying I get that. If someone's like, look, I'm fucking broke and I'm going to sign up. I'm going to pay the fucking 1 month of this and then download everything and fucking take it. And then I'd be like, don't re-up for the next year, for the next month. Take it and enjoy it. That's fine. Or even take it illegally. I don't fucking care. But I'd like to think that if the money isn't an issue for you and you like what we fucking do, that you'd go, oh, okay, I'm gonna fucking support them. I think that's the way it should be. And also, I think that
it's
a
also
company
nicer,
like the UFC factors in how many people are gonna fucking take it, and then that's factored into the price. So I feel like almost I'm paying for younger me.
When you go to these streaming sites, so you click on it, right, and I'm clicking on the, it'll be like link 1 through 6, right? You click on link 1, and then it'll freeze, and it goes down, like, oh, gotta go to link 3 now.
And you just feel dirty.
And it's all, dude, it's all like fuzzy, and you're watching link 3, and it's in a different language, it's in Russian, and now it's like, oh, link 3 is down, gotta go to link 6 now. Oh, link 2's back up, though. Let's go back to link 2.
It's like, fuck that.
Just pay the $60. Jesus Christ, dude. Just to not deal with that and watch it on my TV with my son and his friend and be like, look, we're in my living room on a couch, watching it on a nice TV in high def. I just paid for, like...
No, I completely... It's like the difference between... it's like if you stay at a hotel and you walk in and you're like... I'm not saying like you're being a dick at all. Just like the regular way that you are is you go, hi, checking in. You're just like, I'm checking in. Like, I bought a room here. Yeah. So I am informing you that I'm checking into my room that is now mine. Versus like going in there and being like, can I stay here, please? Like, I don't know. You just have that energy when you're streaming something. It just feels like this kind of like, please work. If you work, go ahead. If you're not broke, just fucking buy the thing.
Yeah, of course. So anyway, so I bought it. A lot of people were giving me shit about buying the stream specifically, and I was like, look, dude, it is what it is. All right, so let's talk about this fight a little bit.
Let's do it.
First thing first, if you guys have not seen, Anderson Silva did lose.
Spoiler alert.
A unanimous decision to Jake Paul, and he lost it. It's not a debate. It's not a question. You can rewatch it 100 times. He lost that fucking boxing match. And I tweeted this as well. It reminded me, the morning after I woke up, like this like fucking feeling, and it reminded me of when I found out that Santa Claus wasn't real. And I was like, wow, dude, it's all smoke and mirrors, dude.
What?
Yes. I told you, my Jewish friend. Not real.
I always assumed they were right and we were wrong.
It made me feel like anything that I knew about fighting really just isn't real. Anything that I knew about society isn't real. Up is down, down is up, white is black, black is white. It is a crazy thing to see Anderson Silva lose a striking competition to Jake Paul. Look, Anderson had moments where he looked good. Was never really like, this is him getting, sat down in the 8th round. Jake still has the power to put him on his seat in the 8th round, which was a sad moment. Bloodied face on Anderson Silva. Jake Paul probably won 6 of the 8 rounds pretty handily. Landed heavier shots, landed cleaner shots. Anderson at times looked aggressive and started coming at him. And making Jake, there was a few moments where Jake was almost like, on his back foot and looking a little bit overwhelmed, but he was able to weather those moments. But it's very interesting because Anderson Silva, typically a counter striker, wasn't able to really counter Jake. Jake was doing the counter striking. Jake was landing the stronger counter shots. Anderson's only success came from coming forward, which just wasn't very Anderson Silva-esque. Jake Paul, honestly, dude, hats off to him for being able to come in and just outbox Anderson Silva. I don't really know what that means with the grand implications of how good of either of these guys are at boxing. I think Anderson Silva's less good at boxing than you or I probably give him credit for because we're not like into boxing like that. But I will say Jake Paul has every single opponent has become increasingly more and more dangerous. He's looked better against each opponent. Even though he didn't get the knockout against Anderson Silva, I think taking Anderson to the decision and outboxing him almost was more impressive than knocking out Tyron Woodley.
No question.
And I think that, look, he's just going to keep on progressing. And I said this a long time ago about Jake Paul. He has so much room to grow. He has all the resources in the world. He's genuinely athletic and talented. Those holes that people are talking about with his footwork and some of those things that I guess that boxing purists will sort of point out, those things are going to go away. He's 6-0, and he's got a lot of fucking eyes on him. I'm not betting against Jake Paul anymore, dude. I almost bet $1,000 in Anderson Silva, and I'm glad I didn't.
Well, yeah, obviously, glad you didn't.
No, I kind of want to just give money out.
Look, man, there's just no other reasonable take on this other than to just say it's crazy impressive what Jake Paul has done. It's just really fucking impressive. And I see so many people like on social media almost like trying to cope with the reality that's right in front of them. Like I saw people, it ranges from people going, no, are you crazy? Anderson won that fight, to people going,
well, that's crazy.
To people going, he took a dive. And you're like, well, which one of those two is it?
Yeah.
Because it's not both.
Well, people are like, dude, Anderson had plenty of openings where he could have put him down. He's obviously not hitting him with a full strength.
No. Neither. Here's the thing. Neither of those things are true. If you believe either of those things, you don't know anything about fighting. Anderson Silva showed up. Anderson Silva looked good. Yeah. And Anderson Silva got beat. Yeah. That's just what happened. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think he was going to beat Tyron Woodley the first time they fought.
I didn't think it was going to be Ben Askren.
That I did think, but even that. But it is just really, look, again, I don't think Jake Paul is going to be a champion boxer. But it's just incredible that he beat Anderson. Who
knows if he's going to be a champion boxer? Dude, Jake Paul's 25 years old. He is 6-0. He's gotten better and better and better. He's just looking better. Is there something? What am I missing here? Where I'm going? I'm looking at him. I'm going. He looks really fucking
there's
good.
other things-
and there's so much room with the right training partners, the right coaches, the room for improvement. He seems very, very motivated. Why is he less likely to progress than the next guy?
Well,
I don't
also the
understand why
fact,
people
look,
are.
Anderson Silva, and again, I know he's 47 years old and stuff, but Anderson looked really good. He was moving really well. Anderson Silva has also beat a legitimate professional boxer. What's his name?
Cesar Chavez Jr.
Cesar Chavez Jr., who's like a legit professional boxer.
Former champion.
Maybe right. Not a current champion, but a really legit guy.
Yeah.
And he beat him. And he actually beat him in that fight. And he looked as good in this fight to me as he did in that fight. And Jake Paul just beat him. Anderson, I didn't think I thought some of the announcers they're like boxing guys, I think, more, and didn't really know Anderson and know MMA and shit. But they were kind of talking in the first round. They were like, this is really weird that Anderson's just dancing around and not throwing punches. And you're like, no, that's what Anderson does.
Ariel was in the booth, and Ariel clarified that.
Oh, did he? I didn't catch that.
He did.
But you go, no, this is actually what Anderson does. And even the thing where Anderson, after that, started moving forward, that's kind of what Anderson would always switch up between circling, dancing around, then putting pressure on you, and then all of this. And he felt like putting pressure was the way to, after like taking in all the data, he was like, that's the way to expose this guy, is for me to fucking pressure him. And I know that people, again, I'm not a boxing expert, but I know people will say Jake Paul's footwork and he looks a little bit clunky at times. But I'll tell you, and this is, I know you've talked to Bisbing about this before. I don't know if people appreciate how high level of a striker Anderson Silva is. He is incredibly high level, amongst the best to ever do it, ever. Yes, he's 47, but he is still amongst the best ever. And what was really impressive to me was that Anderson Silva was walking Jake Paul down and couldn't trap him. He kept, every time he'd get him like up against the ropes, Jake Paul was always able to escape. Anderson would land some shots, but Jake Paul was able to...
He had a lot of success. He cut off the cage a decent amount. He was doing the controlling of like sort of where they were moving. Anderson obviously had superior footwork. He was catching it with nasty uppercuts. The reality was Jake just hits harder.
And he was taking everything Anderson
started gassing. Come a fourth round, fifth round, Anderson started just gassing and didn't have it in him anymore to create that high pace. In the second round, which is Anderson's best round, was the second round.
Yeah.
He created a pace where that was a round where I was like, oh shit, he's just chasing.
He's going to put it on him. I thought he was going to finish him in the third.
And if he could have kept up with that pace, I think Jake Paul would have withered away. But he just wasn't able to do that. And, looking at Anderson, I remember maybe after the fourth round, maybe after the fifth, I thought his nose might have been broken. I know they were putting the swab in. He was bleeding out of his nose. His nose was kind of flattened.
He was touching it with his glove.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit, dude. Anderson, like, I've never seen him bloodied, really. You don't see, even when he loses, he's not getting, like, bloodied like that,
bloodied
dude.
him up pretty bad.
But typically you just don't. I don't. Yeah. It's a rare sight to see Anderson Silva with blood pouring out of his face, right?
Yeah.
And I look, it is just a fucking harsh reality that time was a huge. Let me ask you this: do you think Anderson Silva in his prime Anderson Silva, 30-year-old Anderson Silva, decides to box Jake Paul? Do you think that he beats him?
That Jake Paul from this weekend? Yeah, probably. But regardless of that, my guess is probably. But it's still very impressive for Jake Paul to have beaten this guy even at his current age. But 17 years younger, probably.
I'm still not even 100% positive.
I said probably.
I'm still not even 100% positive.
I wouldn't be 100% positive.
Boxing,
that would be my guess.
With these MMA guys going over to boxing is teaching me, right? And this is going to sound like a very undeveloped thought. It's not. This isn't crazy analysis here, but it's like boxing. When they call it the sweet science, I'm understanding what that means a little bit more. The subtleties in boxing and how much that how much of a difference that brings. It's like, no, I think MMA fighters are tougher in the sport of fighting. I think it's just like, again, MMA
better
fighters,
sport.
Yeah, but I just think that when it comes down to boxing, these guys that are specialists in boxing, those little differences go a very, very, very long way. And I don't Yeah, I don't think it's good for all these MMA guys to switch over to boxing. I think it makes the MMA look bad when it is a superior sport. You know, we it's an evolution of combat sports, right? And I think that they're taking a step back to look like they're not as good. When the reality is, if Jake Paul came to MMA, I think Jake Paul gets fucking smoked by almost anybody.
Well, he's fought these guys like Ben Askren, who just goes out there and looks goofy against him in a fucking street fight. Ben Askren kills Jake Paul, kills him, and takes him down with ease, and fucking gets on top of him and chokes him out.
Who knows at this point?
No, I mean Ben Askren is still like a crazy high level wrestler. Like Jake Paul may have a little bit of wrestling, but he has a little bit of wrestling the way I
mean, it does start with Jake standing there, and we just watch. I mean, all you gotta do is drop in that right hand.
I don't know. He would fuck him up in a street fight.
I know.
Most of the time. Exactly. But I'm just saying. But it's I agree with you 100% about all of that. It was I agree. I've said this all. It's kind of sad in a way for MMA, and it's sad that these guys are going, and a lot of them are making bigger paydays in these fights against Jake Paul. At the same time, you just can't not be impressed with what Jake Paul's doing. I know Anderson Silva's not a boxer, but for this to be your seventh fight and be fucking. And then the other thing that happened is that Anderson Silva in the last round, I think, fought a little bit desperate. Like he knew he had to fucking stop him. Of course, that's why he went and he started getting into a firefight and then got fucking dropped on his ass.
Yeah.
It was sad to see because Anderson's such a fucking legend, and to see him like go out, and there's still this like the way it's presented or the way it's viewed by so many people is like, oh, a YouTuber just fucked you up, and that's just fucking sad. But it's not a YouTuber fucking him up. It's like a dude who's legitimately become very good at boxing.
And I'm gonna just say this:
what
the
fuck is that?
It's fine, Coop. But you don't give me a soda-sized cup of whiskey. That's psychotic. It's a crazy.
Have you ever had whiskey before, Coop?
Do you know what whiskey is?
You don't.
I don't drink.
Coop, that's crazy, Coop.
That is a lot of whiskey, to be fair.
I mean, it's not a lot of whiskey. It's a night's worth of whiskey.
What type of bourbon is this?
Maker's Mark.
All right. I mean, you see how half the bottle's gone? It's in my cup.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to put this in here, or you want to keep it over in the fridge?
I mean, it's just. Can you show that on the camera just so people understand what Coop just handed you?
What the fuck is going on? What is wrong?
It looks like you're drinking iced tea.
That is somebody who doesn't drink who would pour that drink.
I can't fucking deal with it. I can't, folks. Come on, folks. All right. So look, whatever.
He meant well.
I'm saying fucking.
So so Jake Paul after the fight calls out Nate Diaz. I gotta say that does seem like the fight that is the stars are aligning for this just being Nate gets out of his contract. Jake Paul gets the win against Anderson Silva. This will be, I think, just on star power. Even though Anderson Silva had a more storied MMA career, Nate Diaz, I believe, is a much bigger star. And this is the biggest, I think, the biggest money fight right now, short of the Conor trilogy, for Nate Diaz and for Jake Paul. I think this is the biggest money fight to happen. So I think it's going to happen.
So Nate Diaz had an altercation with a Paul team member.
He slapped one of the Paul team guys.
Is there video of this?
Yes, there sure is.
Please let me see the video. Right now. Haven't seen it. I just read this.
Sorry, what? Say it again. We were lamenting the amount of whiskey you got.
This Nate Diaz altercation with a Paul team.
Nate
member.
Diaz slaps Jake Paul.
Turn it down a little. It's very loud. Come on, folks. This is backstage of the fight.
Yes.
Wait, that's the guy.
Yeah. The slap just happened.
Rewind it again.
Rewind it.
Yeah, rewind that again. That was great.
I think it might have been a punch.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean,
hell yeah.
I saw someone tweeted, I forget who tweeted this, but they go, it would have been a bigger story if Nate didn't slap someone backstage at the fight. Which I go, this is just what you expect Nate Diaz to do.
They do love smacking people.
They really love smacking people.
You can't do why can they do that? You're not allowed to. In any other world, you get arrested for shit like that. Not the Diaz brothers. Weird thing, dude. They just smack people all willy nilly.
Like the cop is taking your statement and he goes, "He slapped you." He goes, "Was it a Stockton slap?" He goes, "I'm sorry. There's nothing we can really do about that."
Yeah, look, it's a crazy thing. Like,
well,
I feel like if I slapped any comedian, I would literally just be arrested on camera.
Yeah. Well, you spit on a comic once. And,
Whoa.
I mean, I wouldn't
I
call
was
it a comic.
speaking loudly, and spit came out of my mouth. It touched him. It was an accident, Dave.
Yeah, it was. But cops weren't called.
But why? I don't understand why that. This happens a lot. Like fighters are just constantly smacking each other backstage. I guess they're fighters. Was Paul's boy a fighter?
I don't know what the story was.
I don't think so. The story I heard was that was someone said
This
it
is
was,
Jake Paul's entourage. He's like, I'm a content creator. What are you doing?
I
He was a
heard
Make-A-Wish kid.
I heard it. One person said it was Jake Paul's dad. I don't know if I believe that. And then the other thing I heard was that it was just one of Jake's like henchmen, rando guys.
Yeah, maybe.
He shouldn't have been walking up to Nate Diaz like that. Come on. Got to know who you're walking up to.
Let's see.
But don't you
Paul
think
said at the press conference that Nate Diaz was here acting like a bitch. Everyone wants that fight. He tried to fight people in the hallway. Nate, stop fighting people for free. Let's do it in the ring. I know you're a little slow, buddy, but it's okay. We can make this fight happen.
it just seems like, Lewis, I know this. You're a businessman, right? And when something seems like, when you see these opportunities where the most money to be made is this deal, there is a law of business attraction that tends toward that deal happening, no matter what it is. If there was a podcaster who can make the most amount of money by going to Gas Digital, and Gas Digital can make the most amount of money by having that podcaster come here, more often than not, what happens is that person has a podcast at Gas Digital. So I'm just saying, I think right now I'm just looking at the way this all just happened to work out. Nate out of his contract, Jake winning his fight with Anderson Silva. It just makes so much sense for this to happen that I bet it will. And it would be, at this point, I got to say, a very interesting fight to see. You could make the argument that Anderson Silva was certainly the more accomplished MMA fighter, and maybe even the better striker. But there's a real big difference between 47 and 37. Or whatever.
There's also a really big difference between 205 pounds and 160
also,
pounds.
Very, very big difference there too.
So, and then the other side of it is, first of all, also Paul opens as a favorite with the odds makers, 2-1 favorite, minus 260 to defeat Diaz.
I would think
Diaz opening as a plus 200 underdog. That means a bet. Yeah, all right. So, dude, I don't know that that's a fight that Nate wants.
I think that Nate took a fight with Leon Edwards and took a fight with Hamzat Chimaev. I don't think Nate's worried about a fight.
I'm worried about it.
So,
when
you're saying he doesn't want it?
When I say doesn't want it, I mean it's not a good fight.
Oh, okay. So that's okay. That I can understand the argument for. I'm just making the point that the fact that Nate took a fight with Leon Edwards and Hamzat Chimaev lets you know that like Nate is down to fight very tough fights still at this stage in his career. He's not like just saying, "Hey, I'm famous, so I'm gonna fucking fight favorable fights for me." He'll take tough fights. Of
course.
I think he wants the biggest money fight. And I think that this is short of the Conor trilogy, I think this is the biggest money fight. And I do think that I think at this point, as crazy as it is to say, Jake Paul will be the favorite going into that fight. I do think that Nate poses interesting problems. There's a big question of how many rounds is it going to be?
It's going to be 8 to 10.
Nate is incredibly durable. Nate has incredible cardio. Nate has good boxing. I think that
Nate takes damage. Nate gets hit.
Yes,
a big guy to be allowing to hit you like that.
I don't, and I agree with you.
I don't think. I feel like as a boxer, Anderson is a crisper boxer, a more powerful boxer.
More powerful? I disagree with crisper. But
definitely,
yes, definitely more
crisper.
powerful.
I think, look, Nate is definitely unorthodox, but that's like this very weird MMA style of boxing that the Diaz brothers have sort of like patented. I don't know how effective that is in like a traditional. I genuinely don't know. I don't think that Nate Diaz is going to do better than Anderson. I think that would be a bad move for Nate Diaz.
A bad move. I don't know. Depending on what you look at as the good move. If your move is to make
Nate's
money,
not young. 37 is not young.
Agreed.
Dude. Nate's at the end of his career. Ton of damage in his career.
That is all true and completely legitimate. I'm just saying. I think that that the Diaz brothers spent a lot of time training just traditional boxing and have the closest to just traditional boxing style in MMA. Like they stand in a boxer's stance. They don't even come out of it because like their legs are getting beaten up and shit like that. They train under a fucking boxing trainer. Like they fucking like, and look, again, take this for what it is. But Andre Ward would bring fucking Nate Diaz in when he fought Southpaws to fucking be his guy in sparring. Like there's a championship boxer would bring this guy in to be his Southpaw to fucking train with. So I think it's at least a very interesting fight. I will bet money on Nate Diaz because I'm always happy to lose money on Nate Diaz. I don't care. But I also just think this is the fucking fight. This is going to happen, and it's going to happen because it's the biggest fucking payday for both of those two guys, and everyone wants to see it. So why the fuck not?
Sorry, I'm looking at the racist live chat real quick. Omega Jordan just posted a tweet of mine that says, "No skanks tonight. Halloween doggy is James's favorite holiday. Enjoy a new rerun of YoMMA Rap. Shout out, Yo Kratom." That's true. There is no skanks tonight. So if you guys are here for skanks, I gotta go back to Jersey.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Halloween it is. This is Halloween. No, there's skanks tonight at 10:30, you motherfuckers. Come on.
Not just a regular skanks.
Come on, doggy. It's a Halloween special of skanks with the great Ari Shafir joining us tonight. What is this? UFC 281 card revealed. Is this just being revealed now?
What is it?
November 12th. Oh, dude, I'm fucking... Oh, no. I was going to just go to this. And I took a gig in Saratoga fucking Springs. Damn it.
What do you mean this is just being revealed?
I don't know. They said card revealed. I feel like this has been known. Maybe they didn't have the order revealed.
Oh, okay.
Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles. Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. Carlos Esparza versus Zhang Weili. And Israel Adesanya versus Alex Bajeda. Why do I feel like it was going to be a bigger card? The MSG card. What happened? Did we lose something?
I think what happened, the reason that it says right there that's been announced, because just some stuff has been shuffled around. So that's why this is like the most solid card, and it's the official card that they've released.
Aaron Blanchfield versus Molly McCann. Watch out for Aaron Blanchfield, who trains out of Fair Lawn, New Jersey. She trains out of MK Muay Thai.
Dominic Reyes is a prelim fighter now, huh?
Yeah, crazy, right?
Jesus.
Crazy world. But yeah, shout out to Aaron Blanchfield, who we interviewed on this show. I know Molly McCann probably a heavy favorite. Who's a favorite in that fight, Coop? Blanchfield's a fucking beast, dude. Jersey strong. Jersey strong, baby boy. Always down to represent New Jersey. Look, that's happening. Is that... No, it's still 2 weeks away. We got time, dude. What is this? George St. Pierre. Is there no news? What is going on with Vic? Does Vic just take off?
He's AWOL this week.
What happened here?
Well, technically not AWOL. He did call out.
I bet you that if I just typed in MMA Mania, I bet you there's a story. I bet you $1,000 fucking dollars there's a story. And there's no notes here.
If you guys want the odds for Molly McCann, Aaron Blanchfield.
What is it?
Aaron Blanchfield is the minus 500 open favorite. Or excuse me, no.
No. McCann's the favorite.
Closing range. McCann, yeah. I think in both senses, she's either minus 200 or minus 400.
No. Aaron Blanchfield's the favorite.
So, I don't know. It says matchup open and then closing range. Do you know what closing or...
I don't know what the fuck that means, but what does that mean? Dude.
These are numbers.
This doesn't seem...
What the heck? Okay.
No, I think she's a minus 500. Dude, you should be able to just figure that out, Coop. Never do that again on the show. That was fucking crazy.
Never make me look stupid.
What the fuck was that, Coop? Just go get the odds. Don't whatever that was. You should be like, that's not what I'm going to start reading on the show. Some weird ass fucking shit.
Okay, I got it here. She's Molly McCann. It says here is a minus 380 favorite.
Yeah, put that fucking money on Blanchfield. Trust me. This is my pick. If you want to win some fucking money, put it on Blanchfield. Blanchfield's a fucking beast.
I'll do it, and I'll report back.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Anything else?
What are they saying about George St. Pierre? He's open to combat sports?
It's just like a non-story. I don't even know what the fuck this is. None of this this. You know what? He's not even fucking wrong. GSP done with the UFC. I can do what I want. Fury rips Jake Paul for fighting handpicked geriatrics. Yeah.
Tyson Fury or his brother?
Tommy Fury.
Okay. Well, look, man, I know that you can still make the criticism of Jake Paul that he's not fighting boxers. And that is technically true. But, if you look at who most boxers fight for their first 5 fights, this is the thing about boxing, right? Which is very different than MMA. In boxing, guys are often given what they call tune-up fights. And then they're kind of strung along. And even if like a champion loses, they'll often go fight some like no-name and get a win and then like move back into fighting like ranked guys. Mm-hmm. That's not true in MMA. In MMA, when a champion loses, fuck, man. And maybe that's not good. I don't know if that's a good thing about MMA or not, because sometimes you'll see guys who are like, whatever. You see someone like, say, Cody Garbrandt or, Luke Rockhold, who's like this unbelievable guy, looks like he's going to be a dominant champion for a fucking decade, And then they lose to the fucking a championship fight. And then right after that, they fight another killer and another killer and another killer, and they have a slide. Maybe it's better, the boxing model, that you go fight a tune-up fight after that, a couple tune-up fights, and you get your confidence back. I don't know. But I'm just saying, Anderson Silva in your 6th professional fight is I really think not like a slouch for your 6th professional fight.
No, not at all.
And like, so to give him shit for that, yes. Is it handpicked? Obviously. You know what? He's in a position to handpick his fights. But what they have done, which you got to give Jake Paul credit
progressed.
for. Everything has been a serious level up and a level up. When he fought Nate Robinson, a lot of people were going, well, look, this guy was a fucking NBA dunk champion. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is a super athlete, and this guy's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Like, I don't know. It kind of made sense at the time. And then he goes to an MMA guy in Ben Askren, who doesn't have good boxing, but as you felt, and I was kind of on the fence about it, that you go, okay, this guy beat Douglas Lima. Like, okay, but fine. He's not like fucking a great striker, but he's dealt with great strikers before. And, and then he goes to Tyron Woodley, a guy who's knocked a lot of people out with fucking throwing fists at their head, and beats him. And then you go to
in retrospect, it is kind of funny though when you start listing the reason why, like, he's knocked people out with his fists.
And then there's this guy. He owns a bookstore. Come on,
Ben Askren. Like, the argument was, dude, he avoids big shots. It's so fucking crazy
when he's allowed to duck down and take a single leg. But still, I'm just saying he is stepping up and he's passing every test. And he's passing it under really bright spotlights. That's another thing. Like, almost no boxer in their first 5 fights is fighting under bright lights the way he is. I'm just saying, I think it's really impressive what he's fucking doing. I can't hate anymore on it.
Can't hate. We're not going to hate. In fact, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for watching YoMMA Rap. Shout out to YoCratom.com for supporting today's show. Go support them, home of the $60 kilo. And we will be back next Monday with another amazing show with our normal start time, 6 p.m.
And
Eastern.
with Vic back, hopefully.
With the great Vic back, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Gas Digital Network. Use that promo code YoMMA to get a 7-day free trial. Get instant access to the on-demand library for all the shows here on the network. And go enjoy your day. Peace.